Abarera Legos Ori Banish C10 Demonio Dinaja 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 Abarera Legos Ori Banish C Abarera Legos Ram Ori Banish C10 Demonio Dinaja 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 Abarera Legos Ram Ori Banish C10 Demonio Dinaja
Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Satan and Coffee. Sunday Black Mass. It's good to see everybody. And as always, we begin. Hail Satan. Hail Lilith. Hail Lucifer. Hail Payman. Hail Baphomet. Hail thyself. We reject the Trinity. We reject the baptism of John. And we reject the baptism of the Spirit. I hope everyone is doing really, really well today. A little bit of a different transition, a little bit faster than smoke coming up through the screen, and I thought it looked a little cooler. It's good to see everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I do hope the audio sounds good. Please, if there's any mishaps with the audio, please do let me know. I had to essentially reinstall everything onto the PC because I ended up installing a virus on the computer. I do believe that my pirating days are officially over. So yes, pirating software is definitely not something that I will be doing in the future. So, and as it is Satan and Coffee, I hope you have your coffee or your tea, depending on where you're from. Golden voice of Satan. Yummy. I'm totally going to take that. I'm totally going to take that. Like, that is my new slogan. Atius Dade, the golden voice of Satan. That is amazing. So today's going to be a little bit different. Yeah. So today we're going to be, kind of looking kind of like a different aspect of things, right? Because I was going to get into kind of like the satanic rituals and kind of breaking that down a little bit more from the Satanic Bible. There's still a lot to cover and go over, and then also revisit. Gray, welcome. Good to see you. So today, kind of like what I want to talk about. We're still going to be talking about ritual, but we're going to be talking about kind of like what ritual means, what it is and what it isn't, right? Now, a lot of this is subjective, but there is an objective part of it, right? So when you go into ritual, when you work a ritual, what are we doing, right? Well, we're enhancing our own power. We're amplifying the signal that we're putting out to the universe. And, in some or many cases, we are connecting to other intelligences that exist beyond the veil. Satan, Lucifer, Baphomet, Lilith, Payman, any one or many more of these intelligences we are connecting with. However, there seems to be a popular idea, and I do think that this does fall kind of more for newcomers, beginning practitioners. I do believe that this ideal exists more with them than it does with a seasoned practitioner that has exercised ritual for some time and understands the complexities and the nuances of it. It isn't simply just lighting some candles and chanting some random shit and hoping something happens. Right? Obviously, we've spoken many times about intent and the intention of the ritual and the things behind that. Now, what happens after the ritual? Right? We've talked about what goes into a ritual. What happens after? I think that there exists a certain level of confusion or misconception. So yes, we do have the ability as occultists, as practitioners of witchcraft, regardless of the type of witchcraft, whether that be left-hand path, right-hand path, whatever you consider yourself, we're still all manipulating energy, right? It's how we go about manipulating that energy that differs and changes, right? What it is that we call to, what it is that we connect with. That's the subjective part. So what happens after the ritual? We're manipulating energy. So does manipulating energy mean that we get what we want? Is that what that means? Right? Do we light the candles, light the incense, say the mantra, say the chant open the circle, call the daddy Baffy, and say, hey, I need a new job. I need to make more money. I'm going through a really difficult time. I need some strength. I need some patience. I need some this. I need some that. Do you wake up the next day and feel like Hercules? Do you wake up the next day and start getting bombarded with calls for new jobs? Does your boss shoot you an email saying, hey, this new position just miraculously opened up and you'd be perfect? Is that what happens? Maybe, sometimes, very rarely. More often than not, what we're confronted with or what we're given after performing a ritual, usually not the next day, but a few days later, we are put into a situation that tests us to ourselves, not to the entity that you're working with. They don't need you. They don't need a test for you to prove yourself. But what does need to happen is you need to prove yourself to you. And this is one thing that I think a lot of people keep missing when it comes to the left-hand path, right? Any aspect of the left-hand path, theistic or atheistic, you're not given gifts after you perform a ritual. You're not, you don't perform a ritual and leave an apple to rot on your altar, and you're given $10,000 the next day, right? It doesn't work that way. And if we look at demonolatry and we look at that aspect of the left-hand path, there's an entity that a lot of people like to work with. A very popular entity, right? That's Belial. Belial is a very popular entity that a lot of people like to work with. And not all, but many of the people that I've spoken to that have worked with Belial, I personally have not. So I'm going to put that out there immediately. I personally have not worked with Belial. The opportunity hasn't presented itself, and I haven't looked for it. But from everything that I know and everything that I understand in the workings that I've done with Payman and with Lucifer and with Lilith and with Baphomet, it's very much the same thing. But there seems to be a lot of people that kind of come in and they're like, oh yeah, I'm working with Belial. Belial is protecting me. I don't think that Belial is going to protect you. I don't think Baphomet is going to protect you. I don't think Lucifer is going to protect you. I don't think Lilith is going to protect you. I don't think any of these entities are actually going to protect you. They're not going to stand in front of a moving train to stop it because you want to see if it works. It doesn't work that way. However, if you ask for protection, what happens? You are given an opportunity to protect yourself. The ritual sets the wheels in motion. The ritual starts pushing that energy in the direction that you want to go. So if we go with the emotional aspect of things, you ask for strength. You're not going to wake up the next day being Hercules. No. You're probably going to wake up the next day and feel exactly the same way you did last night when you did the ritual. However, that ritual is that push of energy is going to set things in motion. It is going to cause things to start to happen, to put you into positions to prove to yourself that you are strong in the way that you need to be strong. The work you're doing the work. You're not being given gifts. You are being put into situations, you are creating situations to prove to yourself that you are competent, that you are strong, that you are patient. You're not given patience, you're not given strength, you're not given any of these things. You are put into situations or given situations to prove to yourself that you are capable of being strong, that you are capable of being patient. And this is one of the things that a lot of people talk about is People like to talk about, like, when they work with Belial, when they work with Satan, when they work with Lucifer, when they work with these entities, these intelligences on the other side of things, how it flips their entire life upside down. And that's the point, because it is putting you in a situation, it is creating a situation to say, okay, you want to be strong? Then be strong. You want to be patient? Then be patient. Right? Asking for patience. It might be as simple as putting you in the same room in a doctor's office with a really irritating child. And as for as much as you want to smack that kid in the back of the head because he won't shut the fuck up, you know you can't. So you're forced into a situation where you have to be patient. But I think a lot of people, what happens is they miss the lesson. They miss the lesson. A lot of people go, well, I asked to be patient, but now I'm just getting irritated more. You missed the point. You ask to be emotionally strong and a loved one passes away very shortly after. Or maybe you lose your job. Well, I asked for strength and they're making me weaker. No, they put you into a position to be strong. It shows and proves your own competence, your own ability to do things. You ask for a new job. Sometimes you'll lose the one that you have. Momentum, something of that nature. You might lose the job that you have when you ask for a new one. Why would you lose the job that you have if you're asking for a new job, if you're asking for more money? Why would that be taken away from you? Why would something on the other side take that away from you and put you into a position where now you have less money? Well, because maybe you're so complacent in the position that you're in that, yes, you want more money, yes, you need more money, but you're not doing the work. You're not pushing yourself forward. You're not applying yourself. So, what does the entity do? It puts the wheels in motion, and you lose your damn job. Maybe that will motivate you to do the things that you need to do. See, I am a theistic practitioner of the left-hand path. Now, it's difficult for me to kind of put this into words because I wouldn't consider myself somebody that practices demonolatry. I'm not a Satanist, but I suppose you could say that I'm kind of I believe in multiple pantheons. I'm left-hand path, and I'm theistic. I believe that there are gods. I believe there are goddesses. I believe there are demons. I believe in all of that. I believe wholeheartedly that all of that, the entire other side of things exists. So I guess the most appropriate label to give myself is that I am a theistic practitioner of the left-hand path. It's general enough that it covers everything and specific enough that you get a decent enough idea of what it is that I do. With that being said, anytime we work with demons, we work with these entities, these intelligences, we are asking them to put us into a position to prove to ourselves that we can do something. Because the left-hand path is about self. The philosophy of the left-hand path, and make no mistake about it, left-hand path is a philosophy that applies to many different things. It is a life philosophy. It is not a religious doctrine. It is not a spiritual doctrine. The left-hand path in and of itself has very little to do with spirituality. The spirituality is interjected afterwards. But on the left-hand path, the primary and main understanding needs to always be that you are required to put the work in. Right? I used to always call Christianity or Catholicism the lazy man's religion. Why would I call it that? Well, you kneel next to your bed, you put your hands together, and you pray to God to give you sight, to give you this, to give you that, and then you go about your day the next day exactly how you did it yesterday. You make zero changes in your life because you think God needs to intervene his hand to make a change. That is why it is the lazy man's religion, the lazy man's spirituality. Because you leave it into God's hands. On the left-hand path, whether theistic or atheistic, there is an understanding that the work is ours. It is what we need to do for ourselves. So, what happens after a ritual? What happens after a ritual is you are put into positions to prove to yourself or allow yourself to develop this thing that you want, right? Human development cannot be ignored, right? We need to develop behaviors. We need to develop understandings, right? Pray for wind. Make sure at least your sail's up. Wind, it's on you. Exactly. So we begin to develop these things. So if we don't have an understanding of what happens after ritual, then in all honesty, we are going to end up in worse positions than we started out in. Because you're asking for something to happen. You're asking to be put into positions and situations to allow yourself to kind of, move and progress. And sometimes the needed action is for something to fall off, for something to be removed, for something to kind of be cut off, to cut the cancer out, so to speak. And if you don't understand that when it happens, and you continue to keep trying to do the things that you've been doing, and you feel sorry for yourself instead of getting off your ass and actually doing something, you are going to be in a worse position than when you started. So the biggest aspect of this is to understand what happens, what you need to do after performing a ritual. Now, I did say that sometimes when you do a ritual, gifts are given. It's not that it's never been heard of. It's not that it's never happened. But it's very rare. And usually requires an extended, long-term relationship with the entity that you're working with. If you expect to get a gift from Baphomet or any other entity, Belial, whomever, you need to have time working with these entities to be provided that. One of the things that I've noticed with working with Baphomet, the years that I've been working with Baphomet, the first couple of years working with Baphomet, not getting anything back, but continually being persistent and doing rituals to Baphomet, with Baphomet in mind, that intent, opened up a channel of communication. It deemed me worthy to be able to have that back and forth. And it took years to get to that point. I do think that it is also very important to understand when working with other entities, when working with external entities, you are a peon. You are a peasant. Lucifer doesn't love you. Lilith doesn't love you. Baphomet doesn't love you. The interactions that we have with these entities are, for the most part, transactional. What we give to them outside of altar offerings, we don't fully understand yet. We don't fully understand what it is that they receive from allowing us connection with them and the exchange of power. But make no mistake about it, they're getting something out of it. And I believe that this idea of having these familiar type relationships with the entities that we work with is holding occultists back more than they would think. If you go into working with Lucifer to fix your daddy issues, you're going to be disappointed. If you go into working with Lilith to fix your mommy issues, you're going to be disappointed. If you go into ritual and the occult trying to create a friendship or a relationship of some kind with any entity, you're going to be disappointed. And for as much as it pains me to say it, most of the people that believe wholeheartedly that they have some type of interpersonal affectionate relationship with an entity, I'm sorry, but it is in your head. See, there is a certain level of subjectivity to the occult. There's a certain level of working in the occult that is subjective to the practitioner. How you perform a ritual, how you set up your altar, what herbs you use, what color candles you use. Do you really think that a demon really gives a shit what fucking color candle you're using? That's for you. That's not for the demon. Like, let's be completely honest here. Yes, we have certain colors and certain herbs and things like that that are corresponded to certain things that we want to do, but that's for us. It's not for them. Do you really think that if you do a ritual for money and you use a black candle or a white candle, that whatever you're working with is looking down at you and saying, didn't use a green candle, man. I'm sorry. I can't do it, man. And that green one's not going to work. It's the wrong tone. Do you really think that that's what's happening? Because I can promise you it isn't. I can promise you that it isn't. But that seems to be the mentality. Especially with the gatekeepers, the people that are very gatekeepy about the way they do things through Wicca, right? Wicca is kind of like the big one, right? That kind of like puts all those like limitations on there. Like, well, if it's for love, you need to use a pink candle. If it's for passion, you need to use a red candle. If it's for cleaning, you need to use a white candle. They don't give a shit. You do. We do. They don't. They don't fucking care. Right? They find us curious, interesting, playthings. Yes, we have power in our own realm. Yes, we have power that we can use and push out and manipulate, but by ourselves, but nothing in comparison to these entities, nothing compared to what they have. Which is why we reach out to them, which is why we ask for their assistance, their direction, their guidance. And let's be completely honest here. Another thing, people want to talk about cleaning their space and, burning some incense to get rid of negative energy. Right? I believe that, saging and things of that nature do have its place with spiritual energy from this plane of existence. But let's be completely honest. If a demon really wanted to possess you and kill you, there really isn't anything that you can do about it. Trust me on that one. Just trust. There's nothing you can do about it. If they really want to do it, they're going to do it. So, understanding that what we do in a ritual is for us to raise our level of spiritual awareness, to be able to connect to the other side, because that's what you're doing in a ritual. The ritual in and of itself When it comes to the other side, when it comes to the demonic, when it comes to these entities, these intelligences that exist and we work with and we reach out to them, the ritual in and of itself does nothing for them. It's for us to elevate the psyche, to allow us to open up and be able to connect to that. Now, it's not to say that you can't use your own personal power inside of a ritual and make stuff happen. Of course you can, but again, you're just raising those levels. There's a certain science to this stuff. And this idea of everybody kind of coming out of the woodwork and kind of creating kind of like their own laws and how things work. I don't want to be limiting, and I don't want to be a gatekeeper, because I'm not. You do things however you want to do things, and that's perfectly fine. I am happy for you. If it works for you and you're getting results, who the fuck am I to tell you that you're doing shit wrong? Let's keep that one clear, right? If you're doing your work and you're doing it the complete opposite way that I do it, and you're getting your results and shit is working for you, then fucking keep doing it. I don't give a shit. It's cool. But the way that I view things is that, yes, the occult has a high level of subjectivity to it in a way that things that can interconnect, things that can overlap. We can do different things and make different things happen by including different pantheons, including different practices. I mean, saging is a Native American tradition, and most fucking witches do that shit in their house. They get a nice fucking stick of white sage and start fucking painting the walls with that fucking thing, right? Doing it completely wrong, but it's a tradition that's there. It's an advancement on the tradition. I don't see an issue with it. Some people might say that's cultural appropriation. Shut the fuck up. The point is that the Native Americans understood that sage had cleansing properties. That's the part that's being carried on. That's how we learn. We learn from our past. We learn from other cultures. And we add those in, and that's perfectly fine. The issue is it's getting to a point where people think that they can go sit on a toilet, take a shit, and that's all the energy that they need to do a ritual. Or that's the only magic that they need. The force exerted during that and the intention in their mind while they're going to the bathroom was more than enough for them to be able to do whatever it is that they wanted to do. It doesn't work like that. And this is coming from me. I need to say this because I do a podcast with someone that would definitely disagree with me. My opinions do not reflect mystics. Let's keep that straight. Let's keep that direct. My opinions do not reflect mystics' opinions. These are my own opinions. These are my own ideas. But we are losing power. We are losing ability by ignoring the facts of everything that we've learned and understood over the years. You have a lot of bullshitters out there that, for the sake of making everyone feel welcome and included and happy, they say, do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It does. It does matter. Simple thing. The pronunciation of the names of the demonic. How many times you've heard Belial? Belial. It's not Belial. It's Belial. Simple fucking Google search will show you that. And if you want to apply a little bit of logic to it, I go by Atius. I'm walking down the street. Somebody says Atius. I turn around. Like, what? What's going on? right? Somebody says, Adabub, I'm not going to respond. Because it's not my name. So, you're going to sit there doing a ritual to Belial, going Belial, Belial, Belial. It's Belial. That's simple. There's a lot that is subjective, but there is a lot that also needs to be maintained. Our ancestors had this shit down to a fucking science, people. That is not to be ignored. Our ancestors were able to do shit with this stuff that we can only fucking dream of doing. And I think a lot of it comes to laziness. People are trying to turn the occult into another lazy man's religion. Another lazy man's practice. I do a ritual and then I don't do shit. I do a spell and then I don't do shit. Let the gods handle it. Let the demons handle it. Ritual is only designed to open a door. Is to begin a process that you need to continue, a door you need to walk through. If you're not taking the steps, if you're not moving forward after you do a ritual, don't expect much to happen. It's that simple. No strange, crazy fucking science to that. The left-hand path is your responsibility for you to do the work and for you to be able to advance and move forward. Your rituals are merely beginning processes for you. That's all it is. No demon, no god is going to come down with their mighty hand and save you. You need to save yourself. I mean, Lucifer, for fuck's sake. I mean, people work with Lucifer, and Lucifer, for some reason, has the habit of turning to people's daddies. Like, not by choice, but because these people have this idea. It's like, yeah, Lucifer's my daddy. Lucifer's my dad. Lucifer's a father figure. Lucifer is the light bringer, the morning star, the light on the path to guide you. Allow me to repeat that. The light on the path to guide you. Not to hold your hand and pull you down the path. To show you the direction you want to go into. To allow you the ability to walk the path yourself. This idea of these loving, fanciful relationships with the demonic, it needs to stop. They are tools for us, and we are tools for them. That's not to say that you can't build a transactional relationship, that you can't have a dedication like I do with Baphomet. I have a dedication to Baphomet. I work primarily with Baphomet. Does that mean that it's Daddy Baffy? No. It does not. It means that there is a mutual respect. Perfect analogy. Respect the demonic the same way you'd respect a gun. You wouldn't point a gun at your face and pull the trigger, would you? No. Even if you thought it was empty, you still wouldn't do it. Why? Because you're a little afraid of it, and because you respect the power of the weapon that is in your hands. That same ideal, that same concept needs to apply when working with the demonic. It's not a toy. It's a tool that needs to be respected. And when you have that respect, that transactional understanding and respect, the sky's the limit. Because you're both benefiting. And again, I will reiterate the point. We don't know fully what these entities get from us. But I can almost guarantee you, that a glass of wine, an apple, or some frankincense isn't what they're looking for. Might not hurt the situation at all. Nothing saying you can't do it. But I'm almost 100% certain, like this idea of like people, I've had somebody say once that Belial likes coffee. It's like, I'm sorry, did you go to a fucking Starbucks with him? Did he tell you what blend he liked? Dark roast, medium roast, French roast? Does he like it with milk and sugar? Get the fuck out of here. I'm not saying that if you feel the necessity, if you feel the urge come inside of you to leave some kind of offering on your altar for an extended ritual that you're going to be doing over the course of a few days or a few weeks or maybe even a month or so, to keep that connection going, then I don't see anything wrong with it. But to sit there and say that you know for a fact that Belial likes coffee, really? Really? But hey, who am I? Right? Maybe Belial came into your mind and shat the thought in there, say, hey, you know what I could really go with? A nice, strong, dark roast for them tomorrow morning. Leave me some coffee beans on the altar. You know? Maybe. Maybe. I don't think so, but, you know, maybe. I think that this playful, these fanciful ideas that we have about ritual work and working in the occult are weakening us. Because we're off target, we're off the mark. Like we're treating them like friends instead of teachers. And if you're going to treat an entity like anything, treat it like a teacher. Give it the same respect that you would give a teacher. Give it the same respect that you would give a teacher that has a gun. Because that's what these things are doing. They are teaching you how to be a better version of you. That's what they're doing. Again, these are all my opinions. These are all my thoughts through the years and years of practice that I've done. But yeah, with that being said... Oh, you did. You did. Right at the ass end of it, because I'm actually cutting it off right now. So, with that being said, everyone, I think I have said everything that I need to say for today's episode, and I have a shit ton of errands that I need to run anyway. So, unfortunately, we're not going to go for the full hour. 40 minutes, I think, is okay. So, as Evie so eloquently put it, I am Atius Dade, the golden voice of Satan. And this has been Satan and Coffee, the Sunday Black Mass. And as we always end it, We end it the same way we begin. Hail Satan, hail Lilith, hail Lucifer, hail Payman, hail Baphomet, hail thyself. We reject the Trinity, reject the baptism of John, we reject the baptism of the Spirit. My lovely demons, I love your fucking faces. You guys are fucking amazing. And I'll say it one more time. Hail thy fucking self. I'll see you in the next one. Peace the fuck out.